I'm going to talk today about the law that supports compulsory drug testing, CDT drug testing within the military. So within the Army, the Navy or the Royal Air Force, or anybody subject to service law. So they don't actually have to be military personnel, they can just be subject to service law. The starting position is JSP 835. JSP 835 sets out the procedure for compulsory drug testing, but the legality for compulsory drug testing is set out in the Manual of Service Law Volume 3, and that is JSP 830. The Manual of Service Law Volume 3 refers to one primary piece of legislation and one secondary piece of legislation. The primary piece of legislation is the Armed Forces Act 2006, and in particular Section 3051 of the Armed Forces Act 2006. That provides for the Defence Council to make regulations. The secondary piece of legislation is those regulations, and those are the Armed Forces Drug Regulations of 2009. Section 3 of the Armed Forces Drug Testing Regulations 2009 provides the authority for a drug testing officer to obtain a urine sample from people subject to service law in order that that urine sample can be analysed to ascertain whether or not there are drugs in the urine, or whether the amount of drugs that may be found in the urine. Okay, so whether there are drugs or the amount of drugs. And that is contained in Section 3 of the Armed Forces Drug Regulations 2009. Those regulations refer in turn to Section 305 of the Armed Forces Act 2006, which is referred to under the Manual for Service Law Volume 3, JSP 830, which in turn is referred to in the Compulsory Drug Testing Regulations, JSP 835. So that is the legislation that allows for, that legalises compulsory drug testing within the military. The Armed Forces Act 2006 is the primary piece of legislation. The secondary piece of legislation provides for the Defence Council to set out the regulations, the procedure under which urine samples can be taken for the purpose of drug analysis under the Armed Forces Drug Regulations 2009.